Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk Diversity. I'm really pleased today to be joined by Shiffa Ahmed, who's agreed to come along and talk to us about her own personal experience. So, welcome, Shiffa, and thank you for agreeing to speak to us today.
Hi, I'm really happy that I'm doing this, and I'm glad to be contributing.
Good, thanks, Shiffa. So, do you want to start by just introducing yourself to everyone and tell us a little bit about you?
Well, as you know, my name's Shiffa Ahmed, and I'm nearly 20 years old. And I'm from it's a town in Manchester called Bury, and I've lived here all my life, like in the same house.
Can you tell me a little bit about your ethnicity and your religion?
My religion is Islam, so obviously, I'm a Muslim, and my ethnicity is Pakistani. So I wasn't born there, but my mum was. My mum and dad. My dad was born here, but my mum was born there. But now, obviously, she's living here with us. So I have visited Pakistan quite a few times in the holidays or something, um, and I can speak the language, which is Urdu.
Okay, so would you mind telling people a little bit about your health condition?
Well, I've got a condition called Wolfram syndrome, and first of all, I got diabetes when I was 4, and at that time, me or my family, we didn't know that it was because of this condition. We just thought it was diabetes. So I started off doing. I wasn't doing the injections myself, but my parents were. Mostly my mum. She was. My dad could do it as well, but my mum used to do them mostly. She used to do the injections to me and check my blood sugars. And I took quite a long time to start doing them myself because I've always been afraid of needles. And then when I was about 6, then my eyesight started deteriorating a bit. Like when I was in year 2, my teacher first noticed and spoke to the nurse, and they recommended that I get it checked out. So I went to my local opticians, but they couldn't really figure out what the problem was. And the last time I went there, they said that they thought it was because of someone troubling me at school, and they were making me say this. And at that point, I felt really, I didn't know. I felt really I didn't know what to do, and I didn't know where to get help from because I was struggling to see the boarding class. I remember the first time I couldn't see the boarding class, and I just didn't know what to do. And so after that, my diabetes doctor, he referred me to Manchester Eye Hospital, and I went there. And in the first appointment, they found out what the problem was. It was with my optic nerve. After a few years of it going worse, it became stable at one point, and since then, it's for a few years now, it's been stable and it's not decreased or gone better. And I'm glad as long as it doesn't get any worse. I'm glad if it doesn't get any worse.
A bit more about what life was like growing up in Manchester. Is there much diversity in where you live?
Well, in Manchester, there is, but if you're talking about the area where I'm from, the town Bury, it's here. I would say if we go to the actual city, Manchester, then there's more diversity there, and we see different cultures there. But in Bury, it's mostly, especially in the area that I live, like in my neighborhood and like surroundings, it's mostly white British. But in like schools and college and uni, there is because I'm in uni right now, and there is different cultures, like especially my culture, people from my ethnicity. Even though like my neighbours, they're white British, but we're really like we have a really good bond with them because we shared quite a few things. Like they've been to quite a few of our functions, like for weddings and other celebrations, and on because we celebrate. I'll talk about this more later in the other question, but because we celebrate Eid, um, we always make them whatever food we're making. We always give them some, and on Christmas they give us some chocolates and other stuff.
That's really good to hear. So tell me a bit about your culture then and the kinds of things that are really important to you.
It's quite like multicultural and diverse in Pakistan. I don't know if you know, but people from my culture, especially my family, like we're really like I think this is like most Pakistanis. When we have guests, so we can be like really hospitable, like welcoming, and we always try to like whoever comes to visit. We always like Pakistanis are quite good with their food, so they always like welcome people with good food. And in my culture, there's different types of food, like different to what you'd find in this country. Like so, since I've grown up, I've eaten food like traditional to this country and traditional to Pakistan. So there's like the main food is like chapatis and curry, and that's like the main food of Pakistan. What they mainly eat there, and there's quite a few different names of foods from there that me and my family still eat here, as well as food that you'd find here. And so especially on Eid, we mostly make like traditional food, like for breakfast. I don't know if this is all people that are Pakistani, but our family, we tend to make like sweet dishes for breakfast. I know that sounds, we normally have that for dessert, but for breakfast on that day, I know what they're called in Urdu, but I'm not sure of the names of these foods in English. And then we normally make like a roast dinner on that day, and it's like roast chicken and roast potatoes and veg and different stuff like that. And then we normally, like before the lockdown, we used to get together with our like cousins, aunties, and uncles, and like celebrate it together. We normally we give the little kids like some gifts, some presents, but the older kids we normally just get money or something, and we just have a good time together, and that's been impacted a lot since lockdown because obviously we can't get together, and especially because in my family I've got a few like aunties and uncles with like asthma and other problems, so it's obviously not safe for us to get together. And we just have to stay at home. And another thing, there's clothes that are like different to what you'd wear here, but like the traditional clothes of Pakistan. They're like it's not a dress, but it's like a long shirt type. It's like this long thing that goes down to you can go down to your knees or above that, and there's these type of pants that are quite like baggy, and because if you go Pakistan, they mostly wear like quite loose clothing, and most of the time for Eid and for other occasions, my auntie from there, we get our like she just gets these really nice clothes designed for us because we like wearing traditional clothes on, especially on Eid and other like gatherings.
Yeah.
And so we get them sent here, and it's quite nice wearing them. And then sometimes, like just randomly in the week, we can just wear them type of clothes, not really special ones like designer ones, but just normal ones that you'd find in that country.
Yeah.
So there's clothes difference as well. And there's like another thing that has been impacted like because of lockdown is because in our in Pakistanis we have quite big like weddings, and it's like different to how weddings are done here. And they're quite bigger, but because of the restrictions and how many people can come, some weddings had to be like smaller or just not done yet.
Yeah.
And so they are like quite important things, but the most important thing to me, I would say, because I think all Pakistanis have really strong bonds with their family, because in our like culture, I would say, is we have like quite a lot of respect for like elders and our like family, like our parents and everyone. So we're just really like close to our, especially parents and other family members. So even like if it's distant family members like aunties and uncles, we're still like quite really close to them, as if they're like we're so close as that we can talk to them about loads of stuff as if we live with them. So we just like brought up like that really close.
Yeah.
When I was young, I used to me and my cousins, we used to visit each other a lot. And I've got some cousins from my mum's side in Pakistan and some here. And mostly I've grew up with people, my cousins here, and we're really close, like just like we're brothers and sisters. We're just that close. And in this lockdown, we've not seen each other a lot, but we always talk to each other, and the different ages of my cousins. And so I would say families are really, like cousins and aunties and uncles as well, but especially parents and brothers and sisters are really like I'm really close to. And I find that especially with the condition I have, my family's been a really big support. Especially I would say I'm the closest to my mum, and I'm close to my mum and dad, but more close to my mum. I can share like personal things and lots of things with her. And she's sometimes especially in this lockdown, I've had a few problems with my mental health. I've been having a few stages of depression and anxiety. So sometimes I just have really bad moods, and I'm not angry or anything. I just feel really upset. Sometimes I get this overwhelming feeling of like I'm upset, but so in the morning I can be okay, and then later on in the day I just feel like crying, and I don't know why. And my doctor said, I spoke to a psychologist and my doctor, and they said lockdown can play a role in that, and because of the condition I've got, it could be because of that. And so they're just trying to give me different advice, and they said try and speak to someone that you're really close to. Like I have to speak to friends, but mostly because I'm the closest to my mum, and because a few of my friends I can't really tell them about all my problems because I don't feel comfortable sharing it with everyone. So because my mum knows everything and what affects me, I can mostly share stuff with her. So when I'm not feeling good, then I don't feel like talking to anyone, but she knows that I'm not. Because normally if I'm feeling good, I'm quite talkative and talk a lot. But if I'm not feeling good at a time, or if I'm feeling anxious, I just don't talk, and I just want to be on my own somewhere, in my room or somewhere. So then when my mum comes to me and asks what's wrong and tries to divert my attention to something that I like and make me happier. So I would say it's just really good being really close to my family.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you there. When I talk about my culture, first thing I think about is my family. My family are really important to me as well, and I have a real special bond with my mum as well. My mum's helped me through lots of difficult times, and I think sometimes it's just really nice to have that person to turn to that knows you really well, don't they? And they can help. Do you think that your ethnicity affects the way that people treat you?
I've not really had any experiences like that of where my ethnicity is affected how I've been treated. I just feel like I've been treated like everyone else.
Good. And what about your health condition? Do you think people have treated you different because of your health condition?
Not people that I know, but in schools, like not the not the people like studying with me, not the like students, but the teachers. Like they're not treating me in a bad way different. I just mean they're more like careful and considerate on what they do to make sure like that everything's accessible and okay for me to do, because then I told them about all my problems. I just mean they treated me different in a good way, not in a bad way. Like they made sure everything was easy for me to access, and so it's not been anything like bad.
Good to hear. And some families can find it difficult to engage with health services like doctors and people, and it sounds like you engage really well with your specialist teams and your local teams and your people with the clinical trials. Why do you think it is that some people find it difficult to engage with services?
I was thinking that maybe because of the language barriers, like maybe they just don't understand like properly what the doctors are saying, and maybe because they're from somewhere else that they're used to, maybe where they're from, they're used to things being a different way, and here they might be different. So they might need someone to help them understand how things work.
And have you got any examples of where you and your family have been really well supported by health services or any other organisations?
It's mostly, I was talking about this to my mum, when I was talking to Marie. We both found that really helpful, because she's offered, and because my mum's known as like my carer and my brother's carer, and she's offering her like a certain amount of money to let her enjoy the day and do what she wants. She's not really decided what she wants to do yet, but because she's so used to taking care of me and my brother, she doesn't know what to do on a day like without us. One thing that I've always like struggled with is getting a job and careers because of my eyesight, and I just didn't know what would be okay for me to do, like what I could do like comfortably without having any problems. And so I was just talking to her about what I could do, and she gave me some really good ideas, and I found that so helpful. I was a bit more hopeful after I spoke to her, because I got a few ideas, and she introduced me to you, and I found that really good as well.
Good. And that's Marie McGee, isn't it, from the transport coordinator from Birmingham? And something else you mentioned there is the Carers Project. So that's something that Wolfram Syndrome UK are offering, isn't it? So that carers can get a grant to do some things that they enjoy and to come out from their caring role. So I think it's like a great project.
One thing that I was thinking that could be done to make it easier for other people that find it hard to access services, like I was saying, because of their language barrier, maybe when things are given to them in writing, they might it's true that they might need someone else to help them read it or understand it, but if they got it in their if they could read it in their like language,
Yeah.
maybe that would maybe they would be a bit more willing to attend and receive things and read it. And maybe when they do attend appointments, then if they had someone that could uh, interpret things for them and tell them things to make it easier for them to understand in their language, then I think that would definitely make people more comfortable. And wherever they live, if they've got somewhere local where they can visit for help, then I think that would make a difference to like how much they ask for help.
Yeah.
So I think that's why some people don't ask for help, because it's either because it's too far the help, or because they just don't understand it. Because I think language plays a big part.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got one final question for you, Shiffa, and
Okay.
tell me about what are your hopes for the future?
Well, I'm just hoping that I've always hoped for me to get a good job and like work, especially because of my condition. That's my main worry that I've always been worried about, because I don't know what. I know no one will discriminate against me in the work, but I just mean I want to do something that I'm comfortable doing, and something that will be not too hard for me because of my eyesight. Like first, I wanted to be I've always wanted to do something in mental health, and I was thinking about mental health nursing, but I can't remember who I spoke to, but they said that wouldn't be that good for me because of giving people injections or checking their blood pressure or something. Because of my eyesight, I might not be able to do that. I could get support, but if I wanted to do something independently, then I wouldn't be able to do that. But I've been looking into other things that I can do in mental health. But one thing that I said to Marie was that right now I'm attending. It's a university. It's a college. Because where I live in Barry, there's not really any universities. Only, some colleges they have a separate university building. Now I'm studying that university that's local to me. The part of the college. It's only a foundation degree. What I'm doing is 2 years instead of 3, and I was thinking I don't really want to. I want to start working after this, because I just find it with my studying. It's just too many difficulties that I face. It's not that I don't want to try or I can't be bothered or anything. It's just that it's just the travel and everything is just too much for me. So I'd rather just. I know I still have to travel if I work, but I'd rather just start working. But then the only problem is that I'll have to do a proper degree for most things. Like, so if I wanted to do, I was looking into being a psychologist or a cognitive behavioral therapy and things like that. But you need an actual degree for that, and the one that I'm doing is not going to be enough. So I was just trying to look at options. That's what my biggest hope is for in the near future. I just hope that I find something that I can do, and I just hope that I'm not stopped from doing anything because of my eyesight.
Yeah.
And, I just hope that I always hope that people that I meet understand my condition. So far, everyone's been really understanding. And I just hope that carries on in the future.
Yeah. Oh, that was lovely to hear. So Marie is fabulous in the job that she does, and I'm sure she can support you in terms of looking at jobs and things like that. As I've said to you before, you know, I am sure your family is so proud because you've been through so much and you've got so much ambition and you're aware of the challenges and things that you face, but you're really facing them head on, aren't you? And really pushing forward to, you know, to have hopes and dreams for your future. So good luck with all that. There are people around that can support you with that. Okay. So thank you so much for sharing everything today with us. It's been so helpful, and we really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for listening to me.
No, thank you. So if anyone else would like to take part in Let's Talk Diversity, we'd love to hear from you. Okay, please contact us. Thanks.